Alright, I want to show you some reading material I recommend. This one, by the Americans for Truth About Homosexuality. This book right here is informative about this is how I first learned about the group, the North American Man-Boy Love Association. The North American Man-Boy Love Association is a pedophile and pedestry advocacy organization in the United States. It works to abolish age of consent laws criminalizing adult sexual involvement with minors. Yeah. And they've been around for years, since at least the 90s. So be wary. We need to protect the kids from these sickos. After transgenders, when and if ever whenever that becomes a normal thing, what do you think comes next? Yes, so if you come across this book, give it a look. That rhymed. Okay, next one I'm going to show you. Dick Morris is rewriting history. He was a former Fox News political analyst and former advisor of the Clintons for 4 years. See? He covers the not-so-happy fun times with the Clintons, and he mentions the trouble that her brothers got into associating with felons, and got Bill Clinton to pardon them. Hugh Grodin and Tony Rodin. You should learn about these two. Next, Saul D. Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. Not only he's been one of those change agents that I've been talking about more than once. And if anyone remembers the chapter that I read from Exton's book about the science of plan change and the Delphi technique, you may remember saying something about the Alinsky method. And Saul Alinsky, he was Barack Obama's mentor, and he left quite an impression on Hillary Clinton when she was younger. See right here. Quotation from the Chicago Sun-Times. Alinsky's techniques and teachings influenced generations of community and labor organizers, including the church-based group hiring a young Barack Obama to work on Chicago's South Side in the 1980s. Alinsky impressed a young Hillary Clinton, who was growing up in Park Ridge. At the time, Alinsky was the director of the Industrial Areas Foundation in Chicago. Yeah, if you want to know about these people, look for the sort of people they looked up to that taught them things. Yeah, okay. about the author. Saul Alinsky was born in Chicago in 1909 and educated first in the streets of that city and then in its university. Graduate work at the University of Chicago in criminology and introduced him to the Capone gang and later to the Joliet State Prison, where he studied prison life. He founded what is known as today as the Alinsky ideology and Alinsky concepts of mass organization for power. And I'm going for my next podcast that I'll go a little more into this book for a podcast I have in mind. Yeah, so very interesting read if you want to know the mind of a change agent. Pick up this book. Organizer, agitator, advocator, organizer, agitator. This one, I thought it was a very interesting read. James Patterson's the very first of his Witch and Wizard series. Let's take a look at the back here. The world is changing. The government has denied control of every aspect of society, and people are disappearing. And that grabbed my attention, that bit right here. For Wisty Allgood and her brother Whit, life becomes a nightmare when they are snatched in the middle of the night and thrown into prison. In The New Order, books, music, and art are banned. Magic carries a death sentence, and Wisty and Whit are found guilty of being witch and wizard, tortured and condemned to die. The siblings begin to exhibit extraordinary powers they never could have imagined, and discover they must somehow survive to fulfill a great prophecy. Can they master their dangerous abilities and in time to save themselves, their family, maybe even the world? Go to chapter 18 here. Oops. Here we are. This whole crazy thing was happening so fast. In ordinary lawful trials, one juror stands and reads the verdict from a sheet of paper and often takes in his or her hand. Reads the verdict from a sheet of paper, often shakes in his or her hand. But this was a travesty of justice. This jury simply held their fists out. We watched as the men, one by one, held their fists out. We watched as the men one by one turned their hands, thumbs down, all of them unanimous. Of course, in ordinary trials, there are lawyers and due process and principles, such as innocent until proven guilty and things like that. Welcome to the New World Order, I guess. Again, those three words. I'm doing a little video. I'm doing a little video on books to recommend. And the last thing, for reference material, I recommend you find any textbook, if you come across it, by Pearson Education Incorporated, Common Core group that designed the phone app, Behavioral Observation for Students in Schools. Phone app, which students' behaviors are recorded and monitored to record if they're on task or off task. And that's it. That's all I got to show.